Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here with another lawn fawn video, and today I created this cute flower gift box, and I also use the I Like Big Butterflies products. So let me stamp some of those images. I've got one of the butterflies, a little flight trail, and a speech bubble. I'm just going to add this to our super cute flower gift box. So I inked that up with jet black ink on white cardstock, and I'm going to add the little sentiment that says sending smiles inside that speech bubble, and I'm going to use the coordinating dies to die cut those later. Then I'm going to use the coordinating stencils, and I'm going to ink blend my butterfly. So I use spun sugar for the body, and I'm just going to clean off the stencil in between each application. I don't want to accidentally get the wrong color on my butterfly. Now I'm going to do the wings, the open part of the wings, with salvaged patina distress oxide ink. And I'm just using a tiny little blender tool to get that ink blended. And then for the third and final stencil, it's going to add some of the details, and I am going to be using shaded lilac. So it's also going to create a different kind of purple color because it's going over the salvaged patina as well. So it's totally perfect. Okay, so now that that is done, we can start on the flower gift box. These are the flower petals, and I am going to start ink blending those with tattered rose. So it's a light color, and I'm just trying to get some color onto these leaves. And then we're going to add some more ink blending with saltwater taffy and then abandoned coral. So let's bring in that abandoned coral. And so I'm going to be working on the base of the flower petals, adding some of that color, and I will be going back and forth with my blender tools to get a nice good blend between the colors. So the lightest color is tattered rose. The darker or medium color is saltwater taffy. So I'm just going to show you a couple of these. I'm not going to show all of them on camera because I am going to ink blend all of them exactly the same. Then we're going to bring in a third color, which is abandoned coral, and that's going to be a little bit darker, and I'm going to put that at the very base of the petal. So I'm adding some of that, coming in with saltwater taffy, getting a good blend, and then I will finally bring in the tattered rose just to round everything out and blend that up at the top, so you have this really nice gradation between all three colors. So I'm adding a little bit more of that abandoned coral, and look at how pretty that looks. Let's do one more. So abandoned coral, saltwater taffy, and then a little bit of that tattered rose at the top. Then for the centers of the flowers, I'm going to do squeezed lemonade and then a little bit of bundled sage at the base of these little stamens for the flowers. And I'm just kind of tapping on the color, making sure I have green and yellow on all of those pieces. Let's glue those pieces together. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue at the base of those stamens, and then I can adhere them at the bottom of the flower petals. And look at how pretty they are. I just love these. They are so gorgeous. Okay, and then we're going to start working on our flower gift box. I die cut 2 of the pieces from the Blissful Blossoms 6x6 paper pad, and I did that with a green. I wanted a green base. So on this one here, I'm just going to fold that tab at the bottom and cut this one off. You're only going to do it on one of your pieces, not on both. And then I'm going to fold away from myself on all of the score lines. So you have them going in different directions, but you want all of them folded. And at the top by the petals, they kind of go at an angle, and I'm just going to fold those a little bit. That's going to help us when we put this all together for the flower petals to kind of bend around each other and close this cute little box at the top. So I'm going to do that for the second piece here. Just making sure everything is nice and folded. Then I'm taking double-sided adhesive and placing it on all of the little tabs at the bottom here. So I have 3 tabs here at the bottom, and then you can see that piece here. I'm going to put 3 pieces of this double-sided adhesive there. And then there's only 2 tabs at the bottom of this one because remember we trimmed that off. And then I'm going to add 3 pieces on this square tab on the left. Now I'm going to remove all of the release paper. Now you should glue the petals on first. I was too excited about putting this box together, so I will do that here in a second, but I would glue the petals on first, then take off all of your release paper. You're going to slide this together, place this over that little tab, and then you have to get it straight, and I'm going to adhere that down. Now I'm going to glue on the petals, but again, do that first before you remove any of your release paper. Not a big deal, other than you just might stick your hand in your adhesive, which I kept doing. But really simple and easy. You're just going to line up all of your petals here. I'm just using some liquid glue that's going to hold those really nicely. And then we can start folding this together, and I will go a little bit slower just to show how we do that. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to start on the left-hand side, and that tab just is going to slide right underneath that kind of triangular piece. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So now you have 1/2 of your flower gift box done, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull that tab down, line it up, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. This is really super simple. Then we're going to flip this over. Make sure you get your adhesive underneath the bottom. Like it's going to go underneath and the right side's going to go on top. And then this little piece here, I did adhere it crooked. It grabbed the adhesive and I could not rip it off. So it's not perfectly straight, but it still is okay. I'm just using the end of my glue to press everything down. Now you're just going to start pushing these petals towards each other, and they're going to go in a circle, and they just press down. It really is super simple. You might have to work with it for a second, but it really is simple. It's just the way it's going to go because everything is already folded on the score lines. I use the coordinating dies to die cut out our images. Let's adhere that speech bubble to our butterfly. And then of course that little flight trail we're going to add there too. Now, seeing that I didn't get that one side of the box glued perfectly, it's just has a little bit of a wrinkle. So I'm going to cover that up and glue my butterfly to that. And this will still open up just fine because I glued it to one section, not over 2 sections, if that makes sense. And then here's a bunch of treats that you can just put inside, and it holds a lot of candy. And then we're just going to fold this right back up. And then this is done. So we're going to kind of push them in that circle and press down in the middle. And then there you go. You have this great box that holds tons of treats. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project. I hope you feel inspired, and I hope you guys have a really amazing day. Bye.